Ever feel like your agency is drowning in meeting overload? Well, you're not alone. Most agencies have way too many meetings, which is dragging down their team's productivity, efficiency, and profitability. In this remote, distributed, new way that we work, meetings have become a standard practice. Back to back to back Zoom meetings, one after the other, just to facilitate basic communication, decision making, and collaboration on our projects. Some meetings are unavoidable and should happen, but I would argue that 80% of meetings are wasteful and overload on the agency. Hey there, I'm Ben Gerster, and I grew my digital marketing agency to over $400,000 in reoccurring revenue, taking my business from complete burnout to breakthrough using smart system and frameworks, just like the one we're going to talk about here on this video. In this video, we're going to be discussing the one 90-minute weekly meeting that we implemented in our agency that saved us up to 80% of our other meetings that were no longer necessary, and you can do the same thing. Let's take a look at this weekly 90-minute meeting and how it works, what is the agenda for this meeting, and how you can implement this in your agency to immediately start to save that precious resource, which is your time and your team's time. Starting off with the fact that this is a weekly leadership team meeting. If you don't already have a leadership team assembled at your agency, this is going to be your first step. You do need to have an appointed team of people. You don't want everybody in the company attending this weekly meeting. This is for your leaders. When you think about the leaders in your business, it might be your department heads for each of the different departments that are in your agency. It could be somebody from finance, it could be somebody from HR, it could be somebody from creative, whatever the different departments are within your agency. You want to have representation from one single person in each of those departments to make up your leadership team. Now, if you're a smaller agency and you're in your early days, this might only be a few people that you are bringing together in your leadership team. Choose wisely, because this team is going to have the most transparency and make some of the biggest decisions that will shape the trajectory and the focus of your agency. So this should be very important, top-minded, top-level people within your agency that are in this meeting. Let's dive into what this weekly agenda looks like. So the 90-minute meeting agenda starts with a check-in. This is a 90-minute meeting, and so we're going to break down each of the pieces of this meeting. And the check-in is a 5-minute section. This is really just to segue, get everybody out of whatever they've been doing, get them into the meeting, have some general conversation, hear what's going on with people, what did they do over the weekend, did anybody do anything fun, get people talking, just start to create the conversation and set the room for the meeting. The next step here is clear the air. This is a 5-minute section, and we don't always have a clear the air, but clear the air is an opportunity, and it's an important one for the team to be able to raise anything that has been going on that they're holding on to. Could be a frustration. It could be something that another team member that's on the leadership team has done to really frustrate them. It could be something that just isn't sitting well with them, that they are going to have a problem sitting and participating in this meeting, fully present and ready to be collaborative if they don't get this off of their chest and address this. This is a very important function for a high-performing leadership team, is to foster open lines of communication and trust within that team. Everybody should feel comfortable airing something out at this part of the meeting if they're just holding on to it. And I have heard some of the best clear the airs in our company, things that without this spot in the meeting would have been held on to and resent would have built, and we wouldn't have been productive in our collaboration had they just not gotten it off their chest, aired it out in the room, and then moved on from that situation. So clear the air is an important one. If nobody has a clear the air, we move on, we save the time. We don't get stuck there. So we just ask the room, does anybody have a clear the air? You might hear somebody, an example might be, I'm really frustrated because, Susan, I've been sending you emails. You're not replying to any of them. I'm waiting too long for responses. And that starts to make me feel like you don't really respect me and that you don't respect the work that we're doing together. Could be something like that. And that person then gets the feedback. Their response needs to not be to be defensive. They need to be open to receive that feedback. And it's your job as the leader to make sure everybody understands those rules of engagement for a clear the air. That this is feedback. We're not going to take it defensively. We're not going to retaliate or respond aggressively to these things. We're going to hear that feedback and we're going to move on quickly and get over those issues. So clear the air is very important. The next one, quarterly objectives. Now this is a 5-minute section. Quarterly objectives are something that we should be setting for our key leaders to be focused on. You can look at them like projects, but these are typically the largest initiatives that our agency is focused on completing from a quarter-to-quarter basis to hit our annual targets of growth. These are things that could be building out a new framework, building out a new system, building out a new process, changing one of our processes, improving a workflow within the agency. These are usually pretty big, gnarly projects that has one leader on the team that owns that project. And in this part of the meeting, we're simply going to go through the list of all of these initiatives, and we're going to find out, is each of our leaders on track or off track on that project. We're not going to dive into details and have them tell us exactly what they're doing on the project. This isn't to provide detailed updates. This is to provide a quick snapshot to let everybody know, and it's a good accountability system. Am I on track or off track with my project? Normally what that'll sound like is, I'm off track, but I have a plan to get back on track. If we hear from a leader that they are off track for more than 2 weeks in a row, then that is something that we need to address. We need to have a separate meeting, and we need to really understand what's holding you back, what's preventing you from making progress on the project, what support are you looking for on this project. So this is, again, just a moment to really get an understanding of whether they're on track or off track on those big projects. Number 4, scorecard numbers. So this is a 5-minute section, again, another rapid fire section of the meeting. Scorecards are incredibly important. Every leader on the team has some number, some measurement that they are bringing to the meeting. This is not the job of the founder to go organize this data and present it in the meeting. This is the responsibility of our leaders to gather this information, populate a spreadsheet where we are tracking this information, these KPIs of the business, so that we can quickly review in this meeting what the scorecard metrics look like. This is health indicators for our business. This informs the entire leadership team, but importantly informs me, the founder, as I attend this meeting. Where are we at? What are we tracking towards? Is there a trend happening here? And these are really important KPIs. It could be revenue. It could be the number of new leads that the agency is generating in the marketing department. It could be the number of client escalations or issues that have been reported from the previous week. Whatever you've determined are the primary health indicators of success in your agency should be on this scorecard. And this is a moment where you will pull that scorecard up, you will walk through each of them with the team, and there might be something that pops out that tells you there's a problem here. If that's the case, that you spot a problem, you see something that's concerning, or anybody else does, it's time to open an issue for that concern. We don't just go rambling on at this part of the meeting and diving into that. We simply report on those numbers and then we move forward. If there's an issue, we're going to go create an issue in our issues list. Now, moving into this number 5 issue triage, this is the bulk of the meeting. It's a 60-minute section of the meeting. And this is where we really want to spend our time together as a leadership team. Now, the issues list is what we go through in this section. I highly recommend that you are tracking an issues list in your project management software, whether that's Airtable, whether that's ClickUp, whether that's Asana, whatever you are using. And if you have to, track it in a Google Doc or something like that. But it should be a live document that the entire team can get to and add issues to this list throughout the week. This is a growing list that is going to be prioritized from 1 to 10. 10 being a top priority, 1 being a low priority. So everybody on the team has an opportunity to contribute an issue to this list, and we will always go through this list in this meeting, and we will solve issues collectively together. The point of the meeting is to go through the highest priority issues, pull them up one at a time, discuss the issue, collectively solve the issue, and then move forward. Most issues, when they are solved by creating an action item that somebody owns. We call those to-dos. So if we have an issue where we're discussing a problem that we're having, it could be with a team member, it could be with a client, it could be with a process that's breaking down. There's a lot of ways that issues would be brought to the table. We'll talk about it, we'll collectively make a decision on it, and then we'll assign the to-do to usually the person that brought the issue to go and then make the change that needs to be made that we all agreed upon. So there is a list of to-dos that are being created as we solve issues. An important point I want to bring up about issues. In my company's culture, we are solution builders. We are not just going to bring problems into the room. So I expect that if somebody's going to put an issue on the issues list, and this is why I like project management softwares to manage this, I want them to name the issue and I want them to detail that issue. So usually that's a new task or ticket that's being opened up off of that list that we can look at. If you use Notion, that's a great tool for this. But we want to have a detailed section for the issue. And we want to know what is the problem or what is the issue that I am having. They need to be able to clearly define the problem. They need to be able to clearly define what are they seeking from the leadership team. Why are they bringing this into the leadership team to discuss? Are they looking for feedback? Are they looking for guidance? Are they looking for a collective decision to be made? Are they looking for approval on something? What is the reason that this issue is actually being discussed in this meeting and in this format? We won't address issues unless they are detailed in advance, they are organized, the person has thought through the issue, and they know what they're looking for, bringing it into the meeting. Now, another important thing about when we're solving issues, sometimes this is where tensions can rise, disagreements can happen, there can be healthy debates that are going on as we're discussing an issue between the leaders. It's important that there is somebody that's constantly paying attention and acting as moderator and understands if we're getting off track solving that issue and we're now going down a tangent, or we're spending too much time on an issue. Maybe it's too big of an issue and it should be broken down into smaller pieces. And that moderator is able to just simply say, hey, I think we're getting off track, let's come back to the issue, or hey, we've been spending 10 minutes or more on this issue, we need to break it down and make a decision here. That really helps the team keep moving rapidly through issues and not letting one issue dominate the session. Now, another thing I'll say about issues that is really, really valuable here, and this is one of the big game changers that saves so much meeting time and time in Slack and communications. Our entire team knows that we have this meeting every single week. And so if they run into a problem, if they have an issue that they identify in their work as they're doing their work, unless it is urgent, unless it is absolutely going to create a problem to not address that issue right away, then they know this is where they go and put that issue. They don't Slack somebody about it and interrupt them to ask them questions on this. They're not setting a meeting, which is normally what happens in businesses. I realize there's an issue and I say, gosh, we need to talk about that. I'm gonna go now get a meeting and get all these people, have them come to a 30-minute meeting where I'm gonna tell them what's going on and I'm gonna get this decision made. We save all of that communication because our whole team knows I have a place to put that issue. I'm going to go make an issue on the issues list. I'm going to detail it out. And I know, especially if it's a 10 or a 9 or an 8 level issue, I know with confidence that we're going to be talking about this next week in our 90-minute meeting. And so this meeting is typically held on a Monday in my agency. I like that. It has us start the week on the right foot. It gives everybody an understanding that at the beginning of the week, we're going to be addressing these issues. So again, that is the bulk of the meeting, and it is an important way that we will save a lot of time. Number 6, really quickly, 5 minutes. And again, this is why I like a project management software. As we're going through all of these issues and we're creating these to-dos, in live time while we're running the meeting, we are creating tasks in our project management system for these to-dos, and we are assigning them to somebody with a date, with the details of what we decided on that. So at this part of the meeting, we simply want to pull up that list of to-dos that came out of all of our other meetings and just make sure that things are getting done and that they're being closed and finished on the timing that people agreed to get them done. This is a great accountability system for things actually happening and for your leadership team to close out these issues that we have talked about and processed already in the business. Finally, we hit a recap. Now, the recap is a quick part of the end of the meeting, but it's an important one. These meetings need to be productive. And if we've gotten off the rails on one issue, or we haven't been structured in how we've run the meeting, or if we just haven't collaborated in a really good way with our team, then it's an important opportunity for us to hear that feedback from the team. So in the recap section, we simply go around the room and everybody rates the meeting. They rate it from 1 to 10. 10 being a great meeting, 1 being an awful meeting. And they should give an explanation for their rating. We don't just want them to spit out a number and say, this was a 4. We want them to tell us why they are rating the meeting that way. And it should be constructive feedback as to how the meeting was run and whether we were efficiently adhering to our structure and we got through the updates that we needed to get through and that we solved important issues and that we were able to be efficient in how we solved them. So a lot of times we'll get that feedback. If it's a 10, we stayed right on track. It was a perfectly run meeting and everybody acknowledges that. This structure right here, if you adhere to it once a week with your leaders, will save you so much meeting time and random communication time with your team. And this is what gets a leadership team aligned on the same priorities. We are all hearing what is happening in the business. We're collectively looked to solve issues together, and we're empowering everybody in the process to have a voice and have a say in how we're solving things. And the last point that I'll bring about the power of this meeting is this is a form of delegation for the founder. You know, before I implemented this in my agency, I was left making all of the decisions. A lot of times I was making them without everybody present that needed to have a voice in that issue. It gets very easy to have one person walk into your office or Slack you or set a meeting with you, bring that issue to you, and then you're there trying to solve the issue for them, and you're throwing ideas out, making decisions, they're running with it, nobody else knows what's going on, and you're still the bottleneck in the process. Most of the time as this meeting is running, I'm observing more than I am talking or doing any of the work here. Most of the time, I'm not putting issues on the issues list unless I truly see something that needs to be paid attention to. I am observing the health of the business. I am observing how the team works together. I'm offering input, asking critical questions where it's necessary to make sure we've guided these solutions. But I am not the one that is in charge of solving all of the agency's problem. So this is a massive delegation hack for your leadership team to save you, the founder, your precious time. Implement this meeting and you will find more efficiencies created, more collaboration in your team, and better, smarter problem solving in the business. So if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and drop a comment below. Let me know how you run your weekly team meetings. Especially if you implement this, I want to know how this works for you and why it is so powerful for your agency. Until the next time, stay focused, stay hungry, and keep hustling.